If I'm being honest, cussing is my native language. Be advised. Hey y'all, I'm Jenn. I'm from Oakland and I'm an androgynous, black lesbian feminist and a lover of all black people.
This is Daren. I'm an asexual novelist, researcher, and bona fide comic book fanatic from the whitest part of Southern California.
Orange County. We're queer millennials with 3 kids and nearly 20 years of marriage.
This is a podcast about the realities of blackness, adulting, and relationships.
This is That Black Couple. Hi.
Hello.
Hey. How are you?
I'm well.
Guess what we are doing right now?
We're recording a podcast.
On an episode that is what?
Weeks late.
Hella late, hella late, hella late, hella late. Okay.
Hey.
Hella late, hella late, hella late. Okay.
Hey.
Listen, we know this episode is late.
Yep.
April and May are awful for us. And I'm glad we're talking about mental health for the next couple of episodes because, wow.
Yes.
Let's just get into it.
But you know, we're modeling good behavior.
We're modeling good behavior because we didn't do shit.
Yeah, take on what you can. You know,
we just didn't do it.
Yeah.
Which is what you should do.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta just not.
Right. This is That Black Couple, Season 4, Episode 8. We're talking about 420 justice and burnout. And we tried to avoid burnout by not dropping this episode on 420.
But you're still getting it.
Yes. So grab your water because we are still hydrating because we don't drink enough water. And also, if we're drinking water while smoking weed, it helps us to keep our eyes from drying out and our contacts from falling out of our eyeballs.
And fighting dehydration.
Yes. That's what I was saying. I said it in a different way.
I know.
We said the same thing.
Just want to get to the root.
The point is, I don't want y'all dehydrated. Drink some water. And don't drink water with that stuff inside of it, like little cranberry packets and like little fizzy things.
You can do that.
Just drink water.
Yeah, I mean, you know, but everyone don't.
But we got to train our bodies to drink water.
Yeah, but you got to start somewhere.
Okay, start there, but then move toward water.
Yeah, you know, slowly.
I'm not being judgy. I used to be there.
Oh, you know, I was there.
You know, we was all there. Okay, anyway, now have a seat. This is That Black Couple. I'm Jenn.
I'm Daren.
Before we get started, make sure you follow us on Twitter, which is dying, and Instagram at That BLK Couple, on Facebook at That Black Couple, and look us up on the internets at www.thatblackcouple.com.
And if you're listening to us on a podcast streaming platform. Which one? I don't know, because guess what? We're found on all of them. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Audible, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Pandora. The list is long. If you listen to podcasts, find us where you listen to the podcasts. We're there.
I didn't even know people still listen to Pandora.
They do.
That's wild.
It's a thing. And we're on there.
Okay.
So you can listen to us on Pandora. Again, if you still listen to Pandora.
Also not judging, just not knowing it was still a thing.
You know, sometimes you don't want to pick your own playlist. You want Pandora to pick it for you.
Increíble.
Yes.
Okay. Ready?
I'm ready to go.
Let's start. Let's start with segment 1. First things first. How did we get here? Why are we talking about this today? I have thoughts. Do you have thoughts, Daren?
I have thoughts, yes.
Okay. We're talking about burnout and we're talking about marijuana cannabis justice. So, do you want me to start?
You know what? I think I'm going to start because I think some people might be hearing those titles and being like, how do those things go together?
Mm-hmm.
But guess what? Cannabis is a great way to combat burnout.
It sure is.
And May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And, you know, we want everyone to be cognizant of their own mental health. And we want everyone to be healthy and to do what they need to do to take care of themselves. And I want people to not feel shame. And I want them to actually feel pride about whatever means are required to keep themselves healthy.
Absolutely.
And if that means you got to roll a blunt, roll the blunt.
Listen, when I was in graduate school, I would have like undergrads and other grad students ask me like, how do you do it all? And I was like, hey y'all, do drugs. And they were like, what? I was like, listen, I'm saying like, you know, things that, you know, legal drugs, right? Don't do anything in excess, do everything in moderation. Mm-hmm. I mean, be smart, take care of your body. But like, honestly, I'm not the person who's like, I'm going to go solo in life and I'm going to do everything without the help of medicines. And I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Especially if it grows from the earth. So for me, it's like, you know, we have created a world around us that is extracting labor from us, that doesn't allow us to sleep. We're constantly on our phones. Our eyes are always open. Our backs are hurting because we're hunched over laptops and computers. Like, we are really taking ourselves out of the world, out of the environment, out of the places where our body feels natural and normal.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're like, oh my gosh, everything hurts. I wonder why. Well, let me just push through it and not take no drugs to help. No, I'm not. I refuse. So, and that's not what this episode is really about. The episode is really about the ways that burnout, shows up in your body, and it shows up in your body first, right? It's like often we ignore those sensations. We ignore when our knees are over there hurting and our back is sore and we have this repeated pain, and, we just get used to it and we normalize it because we got to go to work or we got to feed the kids or we got to do whatever we committed ourselves to. Meanwhile, our body's like, hey, I'm going to sit you down soon.
And sometimes you just don't want to appear weak. You don't want to appear like you have flaws. You want to be like, I can shoulder the burdens of the whole world.
Mm-hmm.
But guess what? We're all human, and you can't.
Zora Hurston wrote, what did Janie's grandma tell her? That black woman is the muse of the world. No, the hell we ain't. No, the hell we ain't.
The world might want you to be.
No, the hell we ain't. And this episode is really about, like, what it means to be thinking about why we have to reclaim ourselves. Like, I keep thinking about Don Lemon's ass getting fired.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and he got fired quick, and he was surprised.
Oh my God.
And y'all, listen, and I say y'all because I don't do this no more, but like, I used to work into the bone in corporate America, 50, 60 hour a week, routine, and you're not getting sleep. They're taking things out of your paycheck that you didn't know was going to get taken out. They're asking you for a different, type of labor than is in the scope of your job. All these types of things that leads to burnout.
Mm-hmm.
That leads to burnout, and they will dump you like they did Don Lemon.
Yeah, I mean, look at Don Lemon. Like, I didn't look up how long he was at CNN
because I don't care.
Yeah, it's not that important to me. But he was there for a long ass time.
He was there for, I think, more than 15 years.
A long ass time.
And because that's how long I've been paying attention. He's been there the whole time.
He's been propping up that network, being the black man in the front.
He done had that afro for at least 5 years.
I mean, man, Don Lemon.
Listen,
been the gay black man of CNN, giving them cred for however long.
Listen,
you mess up one time,
and they said bye,
gone. So at the end of the day, you got to make sure you're taking care of yourself first.
That's it.
Put your own mask on first, as I say on the airplane.
That's what this episode is about.
This podcast is supported by generous donations from our patrons and listeners. Become a supporter today by heading to www.patreon.com/colorcombosmedia.
You can stream the show on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, and SoundCloud. When you listen, please consider hitting that heart button, sharing, giving us a 5-star rating, and leaving some dope comments. This helps us with our page rankings and gets more listeners for the show. Thank you so much.
We're back.
And we are back.
Now what?
We got to talk about burnout. And I want us to talk about it because, and I love my girlfriend. She's a wonderful person. This is not a critique of her, but this is a saying that she has all the time. She says, I'll get some sleep later. And I've said that, and you've said that, and a lot of people in my community say that. I'm around a lot of academics, and there is this idea that if we miss out on sleep, if we miss out on rest, if we miss out on these opportunities to pour back into ourselves, we'll just make up for it later.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got bad news for y'all today. Go ahead, Daren.
It's bad.
Drop the bad news.
It's bad.
Drop it, Daren.
As you know, I like to look shit up because I like to know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Sure.
And talk from a place of real.
As you should.
Real facts.
Yes.
I'm not going to dump all the facts on your heads today, but I just want y'all to know that what burnout actually is, what it's classified is, it's a state of emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion that's caused by excessive or prolonged stress.
Mm-hmm.
And if that is not a definition for living in the United States,
listen,
I've never heard a better one.
Listen.
That's exactly what it's like for all of us, right? It's prolonged, excessive stress at all points in time. This is what it means to be black in America. Emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion. At every turn, there's some other shit you got to run up against.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if that's what burnout is, right? And we say, oh, we'll get rest, we'll figure it out, self-care, all that stuff. I want y'all to know that once you reach that state of burnout, it takes a lot to claw yourself back.
Mm-hmm.
It takes years to get over burnout.
Mm-hmm.
Not a weekend of sleeping in, not going out on Friday night to the club.
I mean, that certainly won't do it. The club won't do it.
No, it might. You might think that it will.
Yeah, but the way you're gonna be drinking up in there and not hydrating. Remember, we said water. It's
gonna set you back a little bit. But I mean, they've done some studies on this as to what it takes to get over burnout. And like I said, it takes a long time. Some studies say it can take about a year. Some studies say it can take even after a decade. People are still feeling the effects of burnout. And so the point of this is, like, when you say that quote of, "Oh, I'll get rest later." No. Get your rest now.
Get your rest now.
Take care of you now. Because if you don't, the effects compound over time, and it becomes worse, and it becomes more difficult to come back from. And that's really, I think, what people need to understand when we talk about burnout is this is the effect of you not caring for yourself over an extended period of time.
Right.
That's why when people talk about self-care, they talk about having that be a part of your regular routine. It's something you have to do every day. You have to take care of yourself, put yourself first, put your health and your wellness first every day.
Absolutely.
Not just once a month, not once a year, not when the opportunity presents itself, but all the time.
That's right. And I mean, here's the thing. I always come over here with some citations and some books. So Tricia Hersey has written an amazing book called Rest is Resistance. And I read it last month with some colleagues at the university where I'm an assistant professor. And what was really interesting about the book, it talks about labor and capitalism and the ways that capitalism teaches us and socializes us into this perpetual state of working and productivity. But what it also teaches us in the book, it talks about the ways that we have to imagine ourselves, right? We have to imagine ourselves outside of these frameworks. We have to imagine ourselves as people who are allowed to get rest. And I've been thinking a lot about what it means that certain groups of people are allowed to get rest. Like when we think about those leisurely trips that, all these middle-class white people are taking to places like Costa Rica and parts of Brazil where they're basically going and, co-opting and Columbusing and also putting folks at risk. They were doing this all throughout COVID, and they were putting all these indigenous communities at risk and all this. And that is their idea of rest. For a lot of people, it's like going somewhere remote where there are folks who are safe from the diseases and the experiences that you're bringing with you, and that being your idea of rest. So when I'm talking about rest as a form of resistance, I'm talking about Black folk taking themselves out of these systems, right? Not doing the whole, I'm not going to use my sick days because I don't want people looking at me crazy. Use your sick days. Use every single sick day. You earned it.
I'm a hit dog in this moment. Y'all.
Listen, I'm looking at you. I'm looking right at you. Take all the...
Y'all, I got, I think, a couple months of sick days.
Take your sick days. Take your sick days. Take your sick days. Take a vacation. Go get back to the earth. You don't have to go to, Tulum and Aruba. You don't have to go to these places, these remote places with indigenous populations who are secluded for a particular reason, right? For a real reason. Go to the next state over and go camping. Go somewhere quiet, away from electronics, away from whiteness, right? And I bring this up also connected to Arline T Geronimus' new book called Weathering. And she came up with the weathering hypothesis a very long time ago. But this book is like long overdue. And I bring it up in this context because one of the claims that she makes in the book that's really important, and it has been grounding for us for frankly, decades, is this idea that living in ordinary society as an oppressed person, a Black, brown, disabled, queer, trans person, you already naturally endure certain types of discrimination that turn up inside your body. So they weather you from the inside out. So while a Black might not be cracking on the outside, it's certainly cracking on the inside. And this is why a lot of Black women are dying of things like heart disease. Things that are happening on the inside of their body, aging on the inside of their body that's not happening on the outside of their body. Because you know why? They didn't take the damn sick days.
Exactly.
They didn't lay down when they needed rest. So what's really interesting about this book, Weathering, one of the things that she's focused on is the disparity between Black and white folks and life expectancy. And one of the issues that she continues to bring up is that Black folk, as they live, they may live even at the same rate of life expectancy, but they are more likely to be susceptible to chronic disease. So the quality of life is different.
Yes.
So what I want Black folks, specifically Black folk, to really focus on the quality of our lives, right? It's not just enough to survive. I want us to really be thinking about what it means to thrive. And for me, that includes cannabis. Like, I don't even know how I could survive the day, anxiety-wise, and dealing with all the people outside and dealing with the anti-Blackness of the world, discrimination of the world. I don't know how I could do it without having a cannabis regimen.
Listen, I walk around every day and I find myself making excuses for all type of shit. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, I have allergies and that's why I'm coughing and sneezing all over the place. Not taking no allergy medication.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so thirsty, but waiting to drink water for the next
you have a meeting
3-4 hours because I got a meeting, and, or I don't want to look a certain way. I don't want to be 30 seconds late to take care of myself.
Yeah, I have students who come to my classes hungry and they won't eat, and I'm like, please eat. They're like, I don't want to be rude. It's not rude to me that you need to feed your body.
Yeah,
feed your body.
It's weird. Don't be obnoxious about it, but
right. But I think these standards that we have, that people are supposed to deny their bodies what they need so that they can perform respectability, is just outlandish.
It's capitalism at its finest.
At its finest and at its worst.
And like you said, we need to imagine ourselves outside of that framework.
Yes.
You can find my mom and dad, aka That Black Couple, on the web at thatblackcouple.com. That Black Couple is owned and operated by Color Combos Media. If you would like to help fund our content, sign up at www.patreon.com/colorcombosmedia. Please consider giving us $5 or $10 per month to help us build our platform and grow our organization. You can also give one-time donations at www.paypal.me/colorcombosmedia. All donations are welcome.
All right, last segment. You ready for reflection?
I'm always ready to reflect.
Okay, so I'm going to start because I actually already have a cannabis regimen and we're talking about 420 justice. I want to talk first about the stigma associated with marijuana usage and cannabis usage. I know for me, I don't personally give a shit. I mean, I'm from Oakland, California, so I grew up around cannabis. It was just a thing. But I do know that there are a lot of existing conversations that are still happening where people feel very strongly that it's wrong. Mm-hmm. That it's wrong to smoke marijuana, that weed is something that is, inherently dangerous. They call it a gateway drug, all of this. Let me tell you something right now. I'm 38 years old. I've been smoking marijuana for a very long time. It ain't gatewayed me nowhere. I don't know. That's my personal experience. Nope. But what I will say is that, one of the things that's really important about this moment is that there's a couple things. First, I think people have forgotten that we have technologically improved on everything. And that includes how we grow and manage and disperse and distribute marijuana in this country, right? There are so many strains. They have so many different purposes. Some of them are great for anxiety. Some of them are great for body pain. Some of them are great for nausea, right? Things that we walk around, chronic pain, chronic discomfort that we walk around with every single day. There are a lot of different strains that can help you with that, and you can still be functional. Yeah. I don't think I've recorded a podcast episode without smoking marijuana in the history of us having this podcast.
I'm 100% certain that you have not.
I don't think I ever have. And people seem to think I have really important things to say. So it's not even something that keeps you from being yourself. It's not something that keeps you from having your intellectual capacity if you do it correctly, if you build a routine, right. If you have a team around you who can help you to build out a type of a regimen that works for you. Now, the other part of this is cannabis justice, right? There are still people in prison for possessing minor amounts of tiny amounts of marijuana that aren't even sellable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Less than an ounce, less than half ounce. And I think that we don't talk enough about it because frankly people don't care. Once folks have been identified as criminal and deviant, people just throw them away. And I think that that's a larger conversation that I wish we had more conversation about. I wish we talked more about it. Because frankly, this thing where it's okay for people to be sitting here doing heroin and cocaine, and it's like, oh, that's fun. They're just doing it at a party. Meanwhile, people are scared to buy marijuana. Like, this is weird. It's a very strange...
Something that has a real medical purpose.
And grows from the ground. Literally, you get a seed, you throw it in the ground, you've got it.
It grows, yeah.
It doesn't require a lab. It doesn't require toxic, chemicals in your house. You know what I'm saying? So I think, I really really am concerned, frankly, because now that we are thinking about legalization across the country in different states in the country, now all these governmental agencies are getting involved in the regulation of cannabis and marijuana usage, and it's gotten really to me really unwieldy and awful. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We've got synthetic marijuana being created in different places, and that seems to be like more highly addictive, all these additives. There's not a lot of oversight, so I am, I guess, here to say, like, it's important that folks explore, with a professional, right? If you have, disabilities that make it hard for you to navigate the day, to navigate, peopling and outsiding, right? If you have insomnia, you're like, I need to get sleep, right? There are remedies for that. There are absolutely remedies for that. And folks should be looking to figure out like what remedies they can seek out that can make their lives easier.
Yeah. And, when I think about how I grew up in a very conservative area. My family wasn't conservative, but I grew up in a very conservative area, and it was very much like abstinence style.
Excuse me. I said I grew up in Oakland, California. I think you should say specifically.
Oh, I grew up in Orange County, California.
Orange County, California.
The conservative hub of California.
The highest concentration of Republicans outside the South.
There we go. That's where I grew up. And like I said, it was very much like abstinence style. It was like, don't do drugs, don't have sex, don't drink, don't do anything, right? Because doing it was the bad thing, right? It wasn't about being responsible in your consumption, or like being in touch with your body and realizing, is this something that's good for me or is this something that's bad for me, right? It was very much like, bar everything.
Right.
And, that was something I definitely like took in, and was very much like, I'm not going to do drugs. I'm not going to smoke a cigarette. I'm not going to drink, because that's what the bad people do. And that's the gateway to hell, right? Oh, yeah, that very much was like the mentality that I had.
Yeah.
And to a certain extent, I think it protected me from making really dumb decisions.
Sure.
But it also set me back in a way where at some point I had to really question myself and say, okay, what do I want to do? Mm-hmm. What's responsible and what's irresponsible, mm-hmm. right? And kind of figure out my own levels and my own likes and dislikes and all those types of things, right? And I would say I'm a much better person for that now, mm-hmm. right? Like, I have smoked weed.
I love you said that. I have smoked weed.
I've smoked the weed.
You're going to have to live with me.
I've smoked the ganja.
Yeah, shoot, listen, if you haven't smoked it, you definitely been high just from contact.
The contact.
Because I smoke really strong
shit. A lot
of
contact. Which is great for me because,
I'm pretty sure you've done many podcasts high as well, because this little room.
Oh, I know.
I be hotboxing you in here.
I'm sure y'all have noticed from the beginning of the episode to the end, things get a little bit more loose.
I be hotboxing you in here, bro.
That's what it is. It's the contact high. But that's the thing, right? Like I wouldn't say like I'm a weed smoker. I'm not someone who's like smoking every day, who like knows my favorite strains and but I've definitely smoked, and I've definitely reaped the benefits of that. I've definitely done it in a responsible way.
Right.
Like, these things are not bad.
No.
Most things in the world are not objectively bad.
It's stigma.
Right.
It's stigma and shame.
It's the stigma. It's the shame. It's people being irresponsible about it. Like, I think about growing up. Like, my mom would be drinking a wine cooler, and I'd be like, ooh, what's that? And she's like, oh, it's a wine cooler.
Want to taste it? Right.
And I would taste it, and I'd go, ew,
it's nasty.
and it took the stigma away from alcohol.
Right.
So it wasn't like, oh, just alcohol is a terrible, horrible thing.
Right.
But it's like, you can taste it, you can try it.
Right.
If you like it, cool. If you don't, great. Move on. Right. And that allows you, that opens the door for you to be more responsible and for you to be more subjective and introspective about these types of substances.
Right.
And I think if we all did that, not just with weed, but with everything, and kind of understanding what works for me. Do I need to go to the doctor and get some pills? Mm-hmm. Do I need to go to sleep earlier? Do I need to get an exercise routine that works for me? Go running. What combination of things work for you so that you can combat burnout in your life? Right. And if marijuana is part of that, if cannabis is part of that, like, that's part of what we mean by justice. Part of the justice is that we have access to the things that we need, and including the things that are stigmatized, that people have long been shamed for. Like, listen, when you have anxiety like I do, like when you're on the verge of a panic attack and you're like, I can't actually even breathe. You know what I'm saying? There are moments where you just need something to help you to navigate your body in the room, right? And it pains me when I think about the ways that we have been trained to just take that and to hold it and to sit in it
and to just be in pain and to feel like we're about to die. You know, we don't deserve to live like that. Nobody deserves to live like that.
Thank y'all for listening. Before you go, make sure you follow us on Twitter and Instagram at ThatBLKCouple, on Facebook at ThatBlackCouple, and look us up on the internets at www.thatblackcouple.com.
Bye.